welcome back to the second half of Hacking Infinity, the Eschaton.
And we're going to do a move. First,
Yes.
we have to set the scene, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. So he gathers everybody both simultaneously in Mindscape and in real, whoever happens to be physically there.
Mhm.
I've heard some discontent considering the recent events against this O'Henry individual. I take full responsibility for what happened. I was hasty in my decision. I should have studied it better. However, we're not one here to rest. The There's a lot riding on our shoulders, ladies, gentlemen, others, mostly others, and therefore we cannot rest this day. I understand your discontent, but we must move forward. For this purpose, we are going to, shall we say, take a little more direct action. Show this individual what we're really made of. Williams, roll out the plan. That's my version of do the thing.
Okay.
And Williams pulls out holographic displays of how we're going to do the dirty tricks and influence different. Since there's a lot of talk in the media, so basically the tricks are there to put sort of the more liberal aspects versus the more conservative aspects, the more pro Henry group against the more liberal groups that want to have peace, that don't want as much violence, etc., and pin them against them. To sort of a Russian election BS kind of sort of situation, with a few shots here and there and bombs, and to really spice it up, put the dirty in the dirty tricks.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of street confrontations, cops firing water cannons or the equivalent, the usual.
Okay.
Right.
So,
And that's basically going to require a lot of people to be doing a lot of things simultaneously.
okay. Okay. So there's this I think several different things that could be setting up the move for.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what result you're looking for. Like,
I just want to get the clock rolling. Get the clock rolling. I don't want anything Well, I want anything particular. It's like I want to put O'Henry in a very bad position, right? To heighten the sort of the opposition against get blamed for the chaos and violence, because most people just want to live happy little lives, right? So the idea is that the middle people who are not yet decided for and against feel uncomfortable enough that it's like they see the street violence, the chaos, the attack on supposedly innocent creatures, the abuse of power, and they're like, actually, what I want them the most is not to when Henry eventually, when it builds up to it, and he calls for their support, simply just gonna keep quiet, go like, nope, want anything to do with this? This is just far too much for us, right?
Okay.
Pushing that neutrality button very hard.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that primarily sounds like assert political pressure.
Yeah.
Although from the speech, another option I think might be restructure, which which might be overkill, but it would probably let you get back to your your one missing morale.
Okay, let's first secure my position and then move in. You don't want to move forward with a dodgy situation. So that would be
restructure under
okay.
organization.
Restructure. Okay, so let's see. The gods of dice favor me today, or if they do at all. They do not.
Oh, okay.
By one.
Well, this luckily the restructure is not not a really mean move by on purpose. So it's not going to like cause you to lose that last morale just because you failed it. But you, but they don't seem very reassured whatsoever. And they I think
grumble
more.
grumble.
Well, okay. So they don't like grumble to you,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but they you do get over the next few days you do receive more documentation, or
Mm-hmm.
virtual documentation, uh, sort of citing the internal regs on how often people are supposed to be rotated in and out, and how often they're the the how that hey we've given notice for the request for time off, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, it can be deferred for an emergency, but that has to be in the logs, and uh, it it triggers whatnot. Sort of I
Yeah,
mean, it's
that
not like regular pay, so it's not like
it's
exactly overtime, but it's like
it is
it's like noted that they're officially noted that they're going above and beyond, and that
mm,
uh, uh, they're performing in
suboptimal person.
yeah. I mean, to some degree, it's just like, oh, if we can't have the vacation time now, then that means that we put in the work to qualify for citizenship a little bit earlier, but still way off.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that hits two
and
buttons. I mean, it
yeah.
hits the challenges one, which is he's conservative, so he's a stickler for maintaining the rules, etc. And of course, the organization is bureaucratic, as description. So
Mhm.
yeah, he's gonna probably relent and start, you know, moving the blocks along. But he's concerned, and he keeps saying to when he's seen like Williams, who's his assistant, keeps saying that this he is like this man has never worked a day in his life, but whatever. And so making a very sarcastic sort of under his voice, like that's okay, says smart ass. When he's put in pressure, he starts being a very much a smart ass kind of person. Yeah, she just he should not have slept to the top. It's just disgusting. And stuff like that. He's like under his breath, right? He's just um, so that's where his smartness also kicks in because he's against the wall. But with whatever
Okay.
assets he still
So,
has,
oh
he
yeah.
will
So
continue.
uh, so in you said that you make these comments under your breath.
Uh-huh.
Uh, is it like uh, under your breath in a way that nobody else could possibly hear, or could your very skillful intelligence organization pick up that you are
I'm happy. Yeah.
yeah what you're
Certainly,
saying, your smart eye
Williams.
comment. Uh,
Williams certainly picks it up, and it's very much at times like a stage whisper, right?
okay.
Deliberately, like
Oh,
being
okay.
like, I'm not saying what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Um,
because he's a smart ass. He wants people to, to feel the sting of his comments,
okay.
which doesn't help, but
Yeah. So definitely mark an XP.
yeah.
That's good. And okay, and you're also like doubling down on the okay, fine. Well, you can put in the requests. I'm putting in the counters to delay you.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you letting
No,
some of them go
no,
ahead, or what?
he's saying because
Go
they're
ahead,
doing it.
go ahead, do
They're
your
doing it
thing.
by
Then
the book.
okay.
Right? He's not going to violate the book,
Oh
right?
yeah. Well, that's the thing. You can even going by the book, you have a choice.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
and this is not necessarily reflected in like stats and moves, but like
Mm-hmm, yeah, yeah.
narratively, you have a choice of uh, saying, "Oh no, I'm deferring this. There's a procedure for deferring these vacations. We're going to follow that." Or are you going to do like a rotation where uh,
Rotation. He's going to go
a
for rotation, yeah,
okay, cool,
because he wants to deal with it immediately, right? To move on as soon as possible. He's not going to wait and see if this sort of catches up with him later on because if there's a problem with paperwork, whatever, virtual otherwise, and people keep sending his requests, filling his mindscape with messages. And it's like, no, I have things to do. So if people want to break now, they can take the break, but they know, especially by my comments, that they're expected to come back and double down as soon as they are, so that this is done under pressure, under duress, right? He
Yeah.
understands that he's put under duress, and he's sending the not so subtle message that he's pushing back.
Okay. Cool.
It's a pissy boss. The boss that gets pissy, but still is the boss, and you have to still deal with him.
Yeah, and I think like the overall reaction is sort of a yes, sir.
Exactly.
So they comply with all your going forward. They comply with all your demands. Very much by the book, but like there's this. There's just like this edge to it of I don't know, alienation, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unless we score a couple of victories, then it's not going to change until facts on the ground change. So so to speak. So yeah. So he's going to go ahead with whoever he has, and he's going to go for the assert political pressure and see if that works as well. Because he still wants to go after Henry.
Yeah. So technically we'd have to do that as a separate scene because restructure is organization where you just get one per scene.
Okay.
And that is sort of I'm blanking on the exact term, but it's like a worker placement dynamic where generally restructure is sort of a free thing where you get things back, except the cost is that you're using your organization move for the.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Basically, he will then retire to his office and reconsider his options. But in his mindset is, I want to get this done. He's so focusing his energies, personal energies, and the more he focuses, the less vitriolic he becomes. Like people notice that he's trying to get back to work, right? But it still rubs them the wrong way. That the moment he got into trouble, the first thing he did was like, "Oh, you're a slacker. You're this. You're that." Right? That's not gonna go away at any moment. Unless he scores a big hit, scores a big success. Like, okay, he's an asshole, but at least he gets results. Doesn't get results.
Okay.
Then
I agree. So Quasi.
Buongiorno.
And I is it accurate to say that is Quasi still in theory being restricted to that one cabin or
no he has to do he has to go on his change of body, so he's going to be allowed off. He's going to be told that of course keep any and all their conversations between us confidential as ever possible, but of course he's figured out that probably is not going to be a thing. He's just throwing it out there because it might work. With Quasi, it probably won't.
So, you are free to move about the solar system. What are you doing, Quasi? What's up? Where do we see you?
I'm in Vegas, baby.
All right.
Do you want a new body before or after Vegas?
Well, I realized once again that Quasi is the most charming Quasi available. So I don't see another way to. I mean, so hypothetically speaking, Brad, if I wanted to, have a sort of your life is a lie style conversation with them, that's going to be suave. Generally speaking,
probably. I mean, Let's see. I think that there's probably a number of forms that could take. Uh, like if you're just if you're just like narratively pushing them in a particular direction, then that's probably like a manufacturing consent. If you're just like establishing uh, like clear control uh, and saying you must accept this new doctrine because I am your prophesied leader, that would probably be like troop commander. You could restructure to like just remove theocracy. Um,
I guess. I mean, I suppose it would be trying to remove the theocratic brackets religious elements from it. So I suppose it would be a restructure. What's that? Does restructure use? Is that one of the organization stats or one of your like character stats?
that's an organization stat. That's control.
Okay, cool. Well then, yeah. Once again, this body's as good as it's going to be. I mean, is there a thing where I can do some groundwork with a different role, or you know what? We're just going to go in there. I get in an airlock. I wait until the ship's like pointed in the direction of Vegas, and then I'll like shunt myself out the airlock rapidly towards. My skin is power armor. I can survive re-entry. It's fine.
Okay.
And there's probably some nonsense in the prophecy where it's like, he shall descend from the heavens like a blazing comet, and I haven't realized that.
Okay. I love it. So, yeah, you kind of light up the sky with your entry, and uh, the yeah, that view landing in New Vegas is probably pretty intense. Like, imagine like the you know the bright blinking lights of you know of the actual Vegas. Only the buildings are all like skyscrapers, so such that once you get down, kind of the rather than the light that dominates much more than anything coming from the sky is like neon.
There's a lot of light pollution, basically.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, neon and like
Vegas is a planet that never sleeps.
Yeah, and and like 20-meter tall video screens, and like there's like this constant augmented reality push to show you all sorts of stuff that you can like decline each thing manually, but it's a pain in the butt.
Oh, are they like going in Rocket Man style, like flying down, like crashing through these virtual projections, just like poof, poof, poof.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, like level after level of like all these scenes, and like come see this show. There's all like these
and they start giving like Britney Spears branded parachutes because you're currently flying, so they have to adapt to what you might need.
Yeah.
For falling.
Paraglide to success. Yeah. New adventure in the skies.
Paraglides into our buffet rooms and sex machine.
Have you ever tried skydiving sex?
Yes. There's just like all sorts of platforms.
Re-entering a planet recently.
We noticed that you're re-entering without a vehicle. Can you offer a new shuttle for today? The shuttle 3000.
Yeah. Need to re-sleep, but also have a meeting at 3.
Yeah. The closest power armor repair shops are here, here, and here.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what reentry looks like. The Yeah, your people on the ground are not hard to find. They're not hiding. They're like, they're excited to see you.
Sure, yeah, I'm gonna go find these nerds.
Yeah, I think like as you like rise from this crater in the middle of the street, and like there's and like traffic is being diverted, and there's like uh, uh, like a bunch of like bystanders that are angry at this at this sudden disruption and dangerous and unscheduled and re-entry on along a flight path that has not been cleared. Um, Also, around the edge of the crater you've just formed is a bunch of you, all in like sort of worshipful poses. Um, well,
Shit.
okay, not
hair
all
tree.
in worshipful poses, because
Also, the question: has his shape evolved while he's been gone, or have they kept the old models? Because he changed a lot when he was ruling his people.
Yeah. Yeah, when I say a bunch of you, I think that like through the mindscape they all ID as quasis, but there's a variety of forms.
Oh, hello everyone. Is there maybe a You're probably going to want to sit down for this, and the floor's dirty. Is there somewhere we can go?
Yes, Prime. Uh, right this way. We have a conference room that has been
Of course they do. It's Vegas. This conference room, like terrible tables and seats still. It's the future, but that still exists.
But free coffee.
Free bad coffee.
Free bad coffee and
a
snacks.
spaghetti bar.
Yeah. Lukewarm spaghetti with bail salsa.
Actually, no, I think there's like like a rocking, but well, okay.
Yeah, how do quasi party? Like how do they business meet? Yeah, that's a word.
I think there is in fact a like a rocking buffet. That
hedonistic and decadent.
Yeah.
No. If it is New Vegas, it's a foam party.
A foam party buffet where the foam tastes like different food.
Exactly.
Just go like this is what you wanted, right? This is.
Oh, this is what I ordered. Clearly, yes. In the manuscript, it is written
that we should foam all day and foam all.
Yeah. So insubstantial lives that don't matter are much like the foam of this buffet.
Yes.
And like most places in the Eschaton, the and any food layout you would just be totally free. Like that the cost of producing a said rocking buffet has probably hit zero through cornucopia machines. But you suspect that here somebody's account is being debited.
Well, I've got slightly bigger concerns than the buffet. So I'm just going to gloss over that. Right, now, some of you may have noticed that I'm not wearing my little space pope hat. And there's a very good reason for that. Because I had a sort of, I had like a Viking funeral for my little space pope hat. It's actually because of bureaucracy, but, well, that's neither here nor there. The reason that I had a Viking funeral for my space pope hat is because is that I'm not really the space pope.
There's like a fair amount of confusion on their faces. One or two are like starting to look murderous, but others are like just hanging on your words.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's maybe try it like
Prime
this.
is higher than the space puppy. He has ascended.
I have heralded the return of the goddess as promised, and some of you are going to kick yourselves. It turns out that the goddess was inside each of us the whole time. And the worshippers are about discovering our own inner goddesses and worshipping ourselves and each other and murdering people who are not able to get in touch with their inner goddess because they're stunted emotionally.
Okay.
Okay, that second part isn't fully worked out, but the inner goddess bit, I think that passes quite well.
Okay, yeah, I think
Orgy!
this, yeah.
Somebody's begin.
This could fly. So is this a restructure?
This yes.
Okay.
Because the way they interpreted that was that they're going to have a lot of sex to find their inner goddess in each other, and all of each other.
The one like slices open their foam
All right.
legs.
That's
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Okay, so yeah,
could have been worse.
yeah, you can
Could have been better, but it could have been worse.
you can add an organizational descriptor, or I didn't say you could remove one, but I think you can remove one. I should change that right now. Okay. So you are removing theocracy and remaining communist.
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, hey. Yes.
Is radicalized a thing you could say?
Oh, they're already radicalized.
Of course.
That was never in doubt.
Or and as well, are we just going to delete the theocracy and then are we done, or are we like converting theocracy to something?
This is just removing it rather than
Okay.
something else.
Cool.
So, take note.
So I'm like at this point like ready to like start murdering, and I'm thinking like, oh, I forgot my sword. Oh, it's all right. It's just a prop anyway. I don't need it to murder them. And I'm like sort of
There
planning
was
like,
a
right,
fondue corpse around.
I can kill. Okay, cool. I can pour the fondue onto that one. It'll blind it, and then we can kill that one with the chair that
That's
one's
of hot
sitting
oil
on
and
then.
foam. This is a good
Mhm.
party.
Yeah, they're like mapping out how to murder their way out of there. Just be like, well, we tried our best.
And then you notice the tiki torches. It's like, yeah.
But
It's not the first time I've had to go tiki style.
Mhm.
You are a being of many talents.
Yes.
You can't argue with the classics.
Okay. So on the technical side, removing theocracy has some effects, but I'm not sure if those effects were applied in the first place. Because they were made on the...
Yeah, I think when I did my organization descriptors, I was under the impression that it was like, on episode 0 or whatever. I thought they were just for flavor. I didn't realize they had mechanics.
Okay.
I love it.
So, yeah, there may be something that's off somewhere, but I don't want to spend much time looking it up. So,
Yeah, I can do it as
Don't worry about
homework if you like. I don't mind doing it during the week.
okay. So, yeah, I think let's uh, oh yeah, okay. I think that uh, as we uh, go back to the adorable yet perhaps slightly terrifying Squee Squee. Um, we see. Oh,
Yes.
oh, oh. Uh,
The suspense is killing
yeah,
me.
yeah. I'm sorry. Uh, Trenadon, you received some more legal nonsense from Capstone. Uh, uh, Essentially.
Mark is red. Do not reply.
um, uh, uh, Essentially saying that um, they have that they're uh, activating their partial interest in the facility that created your resleeving machines, and that you are, of course, may continue using them as normal. However,
That's the thing.
certain
I
restrictions do apply.
stole this resleeving machine. They're gonna have to go through boat.
That may be, but they
Yes,
are notifying
continue.
you that in using it, certain restrictions and penalties may apply.
Mark is red. Do not reply.
Okay. And what do you want to do?
Because I am under no legal obligation for anything related to that receiving machine. Because I drive it like I stole it. I put wheels on it and I move it to a different facility.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that that is Brenadon's opinion, and perhaps
You know what I
there
do?
may
I move it
be
from my
people
facility
around
to
them.
deep into the mountain.
Okay, yeah. There's probably a fair amount of agreement amongst your people that nobody else has any claim they stole it fair and square.
Yeah.
but you know, uh, Capstone is maneuvering. They may be able to press their claim in some way that's obnoxious.
Sure. Is this you activating my opportunity for a scene? Because I have things.
Yes,
I would
yes.
like
By
to
all
do.
means, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I realized that I bought myself some time, but I really need to get another species on my side. So I want to work towards finishing that uplift clock.
All right.
And I think moving my resleeving machine into the mountains is part of that, like that last stage of them getting sentience. So once you have a consciousness and a definable legal soul, you can find immortality. But for right now, that's idealization. So for right now, I just want to work scientifically towards finishing that clock.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so it has been that the Uplift Unleashed has been bopping along on its own. You, I guess, I think you have, I think there's two ways of handling this. You can, you can take an action to like push that, or, you know, make a move to push that clock to completion.
I do it.
Okay.
That is my goal.
Okay.
I know you like giving options, but my goal is to complete that clock.
Okay.
Whatever I must do.
Okay.
Whatever the cost.
I feel like I should finish my sentence though, just so that you know potential downsides.
Okay.
If that clock is finished, they will gain sentience and then probably go wild and not be they will not be like happy little subjects. They're gonna do whatever they want to do, whatever they do. Alternatively, you can do this as your own long-term project and hope to finish it before that uprising clock completes. In which case, they'll be fairly tractable.
So either let it happen in the background and they'll be more docile, or push it to completion and they'll have a violent uprising.
Pretty much. I mean, you'd be if you take the long-term project path, you would be like actively managing it rather than it like really being in the background. But the pushing that forward is not an organization move, so it won't be. It's something that you can work on while doing other things potentially.
Okay.
Or you can just have them be sentient right now. Screw the consequences.
Is there an organizational move to do the second choice, to let it advance naturally and lay the groundwork so when they finally emerge as sentient, they are sort of under the guiding hand of the Church of Squee?
Yeah.
Is that a move I could do?
Well, it's not an organization move. It's just a long-term. It's an asset move. So you can usher that along and take some other organization moves at the same time.
Sure. Right. Well, I'm not. Well, I didn't mention. I just. I would like to do that. I'm not saying I want to do an organization move. I just want to say I want to do that thing.
Sure.
So whatever moves or things I need to do that thing, will be filtered through your rule set in your brain. Yeah.
So, if you pull up long-term project,
I've had to reload Roll20, so who's to say when that'll?
Okay, yeah, don't worry,
yeah. For some reason, Discord, just like Skype, just drains my computer. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not just you. Discord, it's gotten the video quality. I think it's gotten better. Like it doesn't do like the weird thing where half of an image will not move, but it does eat up a lot of resources. So I think to complete this uplift, I think you're gonna need I think to complete it peacefully, you're gonna need some help from O. Henry's government. Not necessarily him himself, but like just talking. But some people in his organization will have to. They'll need to like convince to be cooperative, or one way or another.
Why that is? Do I need help from an organization or from that organization?
Okay. So the way long-term project works, it's sort of like the in Apocalypse Worlds, their mechanical person has a move that's sort of like this, where they where you can make a thing that does pretty much anything, but then the MC puts like some obstacles in the way that you have to complete.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it's just that it's like it's me.
Sure.
Sort of.
I just like to
arbitrarily.
I'm trying to understand the rules so I can play better.
Okay. So yeah. So there's like a list of possible complications. Like it's going to take an inconvenient amount of time. You have to acquire a pair or figure out blank. You need help from blank. Sure. I'm filling in O. Henry here.
Sure.
And picking that one. Going to cost you a bunch of temporary woofy and/or a point or two of permanent woofy. It'll have a dangerous flaw. It doesn't function as well as desired. Yada, things like that. So
I gotta work with O. Henry's people.
Yeah, help from O. Henry's people, and I think that and it'll I think some of the like expertise you need are is like drawing on some experts, so it'll also
and this is all information I get before I do the roll to help me narrate the scene, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
So I think it's also going to cost a bunch of temporary woofy.
But I'm just a poor dear person.
I know.
I don't have so much money.
How unfair is that? Let's see how unfair that is.
I don't have any pockets to put my coin purse in.
Saddlebags.
My saddlebags are all full of my high-tech weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what will I do?
Yeah, I think it's gonna cost 3 temporary woofy. So it would be your 2 temporary woofy, plus you'd have to convince somebody to kick in a woofy.
All right.
Which doesn't necessarily have to be a PC. It could be an NPC that you're like.
So after you give the speech, Quasi, and everything's sort of like at that high point of tension. Get a little do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, and like the image of this little deer face just like appears in the side of your vision.
Yeah, I'm still in like a state of shock at not being physically attacked.
Yeah.
So I guess I just do like a 180 and face the wall, and I'm like, "Buongiorno."
Hello, my dear new friend. I see you're in Vegas. That's exciting. So, you know the re-sleeving thing? We can still totally do it, and we're really best friends, but unfortunately, I was wondering, could we temporarily just borrow some fresh capita just to make sure that the machine's up and running to your specifications? It's been so long since we've done any bodies that weren't.
And they like wiggle their like weird hoof hands.
You know.
They're quite nice. I might get some of those.
Yes, they're quite handy.
No, it's actually gone. Kind of turn around again. No, no, I'm actually all right with this body. For the time being, I kind of need it to murder people with. I can murder some people for you if you like. I've got like a whole room of people who are quite up for it.
Oh, that would be nice. Do they have cash?
It's like totally straightforward and honest. Like
maybe they
Do
have.
we have? I'm being asked if we have a woofie for some new friends.
The hottest technology in metal disintegration can be yours for a small price of a single whoopee.
Oh, I'm being told they've got some interesting disintegration technology. We do like disintegration.
Ever think, oh, I'm eating off the spoon. What if I could eat the spoon?
Okay, well, I'm not going to say that last part. I mean,
in the background, Darth Vader walks with his phone. Like, in total silence.
But I mean, yes, if you just need a woofie, I mean,
yes,
we can give you a temporary woofie.
Yes, that would be wonderful. How lovely.
I mean, Boat would, but he became a Unocracy, so now he actually doesn't have temporary woofie.
Yeah, he threw away the shackles of capitalism.
Okay. How about this? In return for me lending you a woofie, or in exchange for me giving you a temporary woofie, you will point us in the direction of someone who definitely deserves to be murdered.
They like look over at a picture of a head with a bunch of darts in its face. And they're like,
I think we can work something out. That would be lovely.
Cool, I'll like beep, 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 over the
Okay.
temporary woofie.
Okay.
a giant floating coin appears and I jump up and grab it. Yes. We have an accord has been reached.
Okay, cool. And okay, so mark that off, and then roll long-term project.
All right. Just one sec. I gotta slowly move my character sheet down, click by click, and then wait for it to respond. If you're in my character sheet, could you roll for me? Cause
Oh, sure.
that'd just be super helpful for old Gene.
He's so old this week, Chicky.
I'm so
Oh,
old.
are you sure
Is
you want
it
to beat
good?
roll?
Is that a good noise? That's not a good noise. That's a bad noise. Oh, no.
So
Whoopee.
yeah.
Whoopee went the woofie.
Tell me,
extra complication.
reveal to me the dark witches in the night. What is my fate? Is this my grave that lies before me? Why does no one visit?
So yeah, I mean, you have completed that leg, but as when you reach out to get a hold of these experts to help with the transition, they're all
dead.
Yeah,
they're all dead. I go to the facility. Everyone's dead. You've been framed for murder. We have to go on the run.
They're all saying that yeah, there's gonna be there's gonna be sort of a back door in the sort of the well, okay. There's two ways to approach it.
Okay.
You can sort of block their access to the mindscape entirely, which will sort of render them second-class denizens. Or you can install it, but there's going to be sort of a backdoor. They'll be easier to mess with over the mindscape than other people.
Let me look at my beliefs. Oh, wait. Well, I'm timid.
Yeah. Oh, and if there's another,
I'm trying to play that more this game.
If there's another challenge you would like to add, you should definitely do that. And if there isn't anything on that list that fits, you come up with something.
Yeah, that's kind of I've clicked the up button on my character sheet. I apologize, folks. I had thought I was getting a new computer, and apparently that's not going to be working out very well. So I'm working with what I got. I'm trying my best. Okay, so I think they are. Let's see. What have they been played as? They've been played as. What's another word for like manipulative in a like the letter of the law, like because they brought up the like, oh, the chroma key is the thing, so your deal is void, like very litigious. Not well, I guess that means suing people a lot. But a word that's something like that. Dogmatic doesn't quite work. Wow.
Scholastic? No, that's learned, so no, that wouldn't apply.
God, words are so hard. So it's somebody who finds loopholes in things, or could twist PR, like I guess manipulative. Maybe.
Okay.
Scheming?
I mean, sure, you could go scheming, or I mean, you could do litigious. Like that's. I think that's I think that's totally appropriate.
Yeah. I think scheming would work too, because like the whole like filming the bad media, it's like, oh, we're just innocent. Like they're very very sneaky. Yeah. Well, I'll put manipulative in for. Because I think how they got the chroma key is that they sent like their cutest spy to that old lady, and then she signed over the rights. So I think that works on that front too. Okay.
And come to think of it, at the same time, like if you don't think that timid applies, because they haven't really been played that way and made.
I've been trying to do it more, but like the physicality of them, they're so much more militant than I intended them to be.
Well, that's the thing. If like the actual play experience has diverged from the word that you jotted down upon character creation, then I think it rather than trying to conform how you play them to that word, it makes more sense to just change it.
Okay.
I think that's better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I tried to do like their physicality is timid, but I don't think their personality is.
Yeah.
And I think we work enough with narrative, like what's actually physically happening. It's a lot more of like maneuvers politically and group wise.
Attack helicopters.
Yeah, decoy helicopters with like toys tied to them in the shapes of the tiny squee. Yeah. I don't think timid is part of their personality. Maybe part of their physical presence. I think I'm going to leave it though, because their physical presence and the timid could be used to trigger a narrative like, oh, we're just tiny deer. Like that did come into play a little bit with their forceful thing. Like, oh, we're so.
Well, they are oddly timid in their being incredibly alpha.
Yeah.
Although some alternatives that I think might fit would be like childish or gullible or idealistic. I've seen some of that.
Yeah, I think they're definitely childish because they react quickly. They're like
impulsive.
Yeah, they're impulsive.
Or impulsive, yeah, sure.
They're right. What do adults know? Yeah.
Don't trust anybody over 300.
Exactly. We'll see how long it takes me to type that in, and then
Okay. It's fighting with you.
Oh, I typed it, but my computer isn't responding. So
Oh, hateful.
Next time I'll just run Roll20 on a separate laptop. So that's. I got a very old one that'll just work. It's almost a decade old. Yeah.
Okay.
So what does all that mean?
That,
Translate that into
So essentially that means that you still have two things you need to deal with. Like you have to both get help from O. Henry's organization and like decide how you're going to deal with the Mindscape flaw.
Okay. So, well, I picked the before I had decided to pick the Mindscape one. You started talking about character flaws, and I didn't actually pick the Mindscape one. I wanted to pick the other one because I was like, I was confident in my ability to find a way around it with my manipulation / litigious trait. Yeah.
Okay.
So
to so the choice on the Mindscape flaw was either to not have access to the Mindscape, or to have it they have access, but
they're more easily manipulated.
Yeah. And I suppose there's nothing. I mean, I don't want to roll it twice in a row, but I suppose there's nothing really to keep you from just.
Yeah, because my initiation for this role was that I will uplift them in a way that keeps them, like, I can introduce my beliefs to them. Like, that was the point of uplifting these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And you said I could do that if I got help from Henry and they introduced that flaw.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because sometimes we can lose track of the initial spark of
yes.
the scene with the roads we take, the versions we have.
Okay. So, is there anything else that you would like to do right now?
Describe how it happens, because we've done a bunch of rolls, but we haven't actually said what happens. Okay. All right. So you mentioned before that they started to, like, at the news of being free, that they and just so I'm understanding, am I getting that last click on the clock, or is it on its way still?
The new clock proper uplift.
There's a new clock.
Yeah, is in place, but doesn't have any ticks because of the failed roll.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
so
you did
filling
pay
those two boxes fills the last one, right, on the uplift? Or
yeah,
are there?
Okay,
do I have three wedges to do?
Okay, so because of the failed roll, you still have 2 wedges to fill.
Sure. In the future, though, but after I get those 2 wedges filled, does that count for filling the last wedge of the 4 o'clock for the uplift? Or do I have 3 wedges to fill before I uplift these?
No, if you get the 2 wedges on proper uplift filled, then they will be fully sentient and
brilliant.
And they will be happy friends,
vibrant and lovely.
Yes. If that last quarter of the uplift unleashed gets filled in first, then they will be fully sentient and
wild and free.
Yeah, and
sure.
Be like adolescent. They'll be like an adolescent species that
sure.
Doesn't much care what the parental units have to say.
With nuclear weapons, yes.
No. We'll keep them in the mountain. They'll be grounded, literally underground. So I think it just starts off like we start just making little schools in the mountains that to like chalkboards, desks, like, and we're teaching them like what numbers are, and this color is this, and this is 3. It's a triangle, like trying to associate with those satellites they send into space, and like they have the guy on it, and they got like a 1 line and then 2 lines, like they have the prime numbers, like the basic things that register as a sentient response.
Mm-hmm.
Circle, triangle, square,
Voyager style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like crawling all over the desks and stuff. Like they're not sitting at desks still because they're not quite there. But like maybe 1 or 2 are kind of like looking at the chalkboard, going, "Hmm? Hmm?"
Yeah, given how things did not go so well, they're kind of distracted.
Want to eat the desk?
Yeah, class materials that you hand out are often perceived as food.
Yeah.
Fair. It's not that they're it's not that they're dumb. They're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But their way of perceiving things seems different than you expected.
Sure. Maybe they have more cones in their eyes, so they see colors strangely. Yeah. All right. That was my goal. Work towards getting them uplifted.
Okay.
Now there are even more steps
Sorry.
Brad. Hacks. Well, now I believe it. Before it was a joke. I am complete.
Okay, so in closing out this scene, you can still work out like if there's like some organization move you want to do. Maybe build something up there.
Can I guess? Would search for exploits be a way of getting like O'Henry's most loyal supporters, like a list of his loyal supporters, or that search the mindscape? Because I need to give Quasi a present, and I want to give him some names. I want to McCarthy them.
Okay. I think that.
Or is there an organization move?
Okay. So.
Steal something valuable. Like a list of his loyal supporters.
A knock list.
Yeah, like, and not just his loyal supporters, but like his like woofy supporters.
Okay, so you could you could do the steal something valuable where you're like well, actually, you could it's separate things. You could infiltrate O'Henry's organization to as part of trying to steal those people that you need. You could instead search for exploits to like get.
Yeah, because I want to give Quasi the chance to steal people. I just need to get like names and addresses and like spa day schedules.
Okay. Yeah, you could do search for exploits to do like to give him some support on that.
I just want to help my friend as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I think rather than looking at the moves necessarily, maybe it's probably best to like narratively talk a little bit about how you're going about opening the way for Quasi, and then we'll decide what fits best.
Okay. So I think my people would start putting interns in places as part of this outreach program that O'Henry's people have started.
Oh,
and
so
like Watergate.
Okay. So like openly sending people into like his city to apply as interns.
Yeah, because like as part of a like, oh well, we're working too. Like we're not. He's putting a hand out, and we're grasping that hand with our weird gecko hoof. And I just love mentioning it. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And yeah, sort of like under the veil of cooperation, we are. Yeah, and the information we're getting is like it's not too hidden either. It's not like where does he go on his like weekends off with his mistress, or Mister. Does that work too? I guess. And it's I know I can't get distracted. I have to stay focused. Yeah, it's that
or master.
Yeah.
Well, I think that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it has a different connotation, but that
Yeah. Now that I think about it like that, and then reverse apply that to.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something built into the language that's a holdover.
I know in anime it's iGym.
Yeah. So yeah, it's basically it's just information. You're finding information like they're like where they go for lunch and where they get their coffees and
Okay.
Yeah, sort of like building this like red string network of communiques and like it's how the secretaries always know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would that be?
So, I, hmm. I think because it's open, it's not infiltrate. Like the way it infiltrate / steal something valuable is worded. There's like this whole thing about not being caught and all that, and you're just doing it openly. I I think it's just like an aid
Okay.
that you just yeah.
All right.
I think it's
so
aid.
when they need it, I'll just roll aid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna put that in my chat window. Boop, boop. All right. So Quasi, make sure nobody forgets. I've written up my chat window and we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's me. That's me done.
Okay.
I will ask for help when appropriate.
Yeah. They show up and they have like little clipboards and like little tie collars, very very short ties, so they don't drag them around.
Well, I thought you meant they were going to show up with like bazookas and stuff, but that's good too.
Yeah, and they're you see them like trying to reach the water cooler water spout so they can pour it, and the little hands too tiny. Yeah, they're, like up on their back legs trying to like carry a cup and like make little coffees.
That's adorable.
Bless them.
Like they can carry espressos, but like a single latte like on the back of one as it like toddles down the cubicle line. Yeah.
Okay. So and am I correct in interpreting this as in addition to people going into like O. Henry's cities, some are going to New Vegas to coordinate with Quasi?
Oh,
Is that accurate or is that not?
I hadn't thought of that since we have the Mindscape. No, I don't think any of them would go to New Vegas. I don't want to tempt them. Their precious, weak little minds can't handle the glitz and glamour of New Vegas. I saw that, Brad. You're like, oh, maybe you want to go to Vegas. Maybe you want to go there in person. No, I was like, oh, maybe to wait.
We don't want to go to Vegas. No.
Okay.
I want to go to Vegas.
But they are communicating with Quasi and Quasi's people, yes, while remaining on dirt.
They're communicating with me, and I'm communicating with Quasi. Keep the information as secret as possible.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, no.
Okay, so yeah, none of them like actually effectively get more information to be tempted by New Vegas.
Yeah.
But they are aware that they're being there's like an awareness building that they're being cut out of something interesting. They don't know what, but they there are.
Because imagine like as they're going out through the city, there's like poster boards and like little holograms, like ads for New Vegas among like all the other ads. Like it's just like one of a thing. Like, oh, let's go. I'm like, nope. You gotta work this thing, and like, oh, okay. We're like, stay focused. Remember, like, yeah, the cause, but also slot machine.
The thing is that they realize now that they're working 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, we hate this job. This is boring. This is not what we.
Yeah, their spirits are slowly getting sapped out of it.
We like science and discovery, and this is not it. And they look at the board. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I have that aid for Quasi.
Yep.
You don't need to make any notes about that, Brad. There's nothing about that you need to remember. It's fine. Why is he's still typing.
Oh, don't mind me.
It could be a big ploy, like when a DM rolls behind their screen for nothing, and like, oh, it's fine.
No,
you don't notice anything.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
The room seems safe.
I do that like all the time. It's great.
No, you don't notice any traps on this door.
No, you actively notice that there are squee resenting the mushroom treatment.
Yeah,
being kept in the dark and fed shit.
They want to get in the lab.
Yeah,
where everything is light and knowledge.
Yeah. So, and maybe we should throw a little.
Who's next?
Something.
Who's adventure?
Jakart. But in addition to the whole mushroom treatment thing, I love that term. There's something else I want to. Nah, let's just move ahead. Okay, so Jakart, what's up? Got some plates spinning?
Yeah, I basically want to finish off the work for Henry so I can move on into attacking Capstone. And he's basically going to redouble his efforts to manufacture consent. He's going to go full on InfoWars on him. And hopefully that will.
So
he also needs a quick victory as well. So going to concentrate on something that's already going on. Since they're already battling out in the media, might as well just exploit that.
So you're gonna get like really red and shout into the mic that O. Henry is a lizard person and that
very much
okay. So are you talking to like O. Henry's population? Or to him directly, or
no, to the dissidents. I want to isolate him.
Okay, cool.
I guess I really want to schism. I want to go for that. Like, okay, you attacked me, so I'm going to go lateral, split his party into two. Especially now that he's, you have an outreach program, but I still know that he wants to go after, these other people's like, oh, outreach program?
Oh no, he's reformed. What are you talking about?
No, yeah. So he's like he spotted that, and so he's gonna exploit that to the limit.
Okay. So what is the what is the line that you're taking with in addressing his people? Are you
basically? Again, I'm playing both sides against, like, I say to the more people that are more sort of conservative, like, oh, Henry's reaching out against, it's telling you that these people are bad, but then it's putting this message out. So he's making peace. He's I would say, it's a term from Second World War, an appeaser. Mm-hmm. He's appeasing. He's now being a appeaser. He told you that he was fighting for you, but, it's all lies. And then to the people that may want, more peace and more reconciliation, especially people who sort of share the offices with the Squeaky. Like, oh, they're so cute, and they're not that bad once you get to know them. I have a friend who's a Squeaky. It's like that kind of mentality. It's like, you don't want to ruin this. This is a good thing. Look, there's still people agitating. I don't say it's O. Henry. I say people in and around O. Henry are giving him bad advice and still pushing for war. We should not listen to them. We should, make sure that O. Henry listens to the right people, right? But you can't. That can only be done with your help. You have to push people, important people. So it's like, the people who want they're sort of people who are the most loyal to Henry and were also more vitriolic and xenophobic. It's like, Henry's betraying you. And to the people who are now embracing sort of this new way, they're like, but this cannot go. This we're gonna roll back into the dark ages of xenophobia if we don't remove these people around Henry. The problem is not Henry because he's the leader. It's the people around
his
him.
advisors, yes.
Yeah.
Those damn advisors.
If you start respecting Squee, what? I'm gonna have to respect my toaster next.
You want to bring next thing you want to bring my toaster to my bathtub. That doesn't work. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know how electricity works?
Yeah, and it's like flat earthers except they're toasters.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So
okay.
What
so,
I would roll for that.
So yeah, that I think that totally falls under manufacturing.
Okay.
Crossing not giving fingers. An ultimatum, which is the thing that
not yet. Crossing the fingers in 3, 2, 1.
Green numbers.
Okay.
It just goes lower and lower.
So yeah, so there's this propaganda campaign that's looking a little bit thin. It's
man, I couldn't even help with an aid.
Well, it is. I guess I should point out that it is possible with an aid to get to give a +2 bonus, but you need a 10+. And if you miss, then you're caught up in the
in the problem.
In the problem.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Sorry, All right. Okay.
Like they're like, oh, maybe we should help, and they see some of the videos you put out, and they're like, no. Mm-mm.
So yeah, I'm sorry that Roll20 is betraying you so badly that this session is
worst.
Rough.
You started so well, and then.
So
is it like people discover that he's working both sides? Like when people are like, truth.com is actually run by the smoking conglomerates?
Yeah. It all comes out. And there's this there's this big reaction on across all of their media about Argus interference in their is it I don't know if they're democratic processes, but they're in government processes.
It just says that in my playbook moves I have. I guess I should have rolled that. I have the gain +1 when one of your assets steals something valuable for men's rebellion moves, but I don't think that's fomenting rebellion.
Yes. This is a different thing entirely.
Still will be a 6, so it doesn't really matter.
So let me see. That both comes out and I think that there's a change. But so you don't necessarily pick this up. You can do a search the mindscape if you want.
Sure,
but
might as well.
Yeah. Whether you pick it up or not, you as players get the may have the information that there's a shift in their O'Henry's scanner research efforts. It had been very ground based to search out for Squee Squee, and now it's they're turning those dishes up into the air.
But also, yes, thank you for helping me.
Unwittingly so, but yes.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to do a search the mindscape to notice that.
Search the mindscape.
Wow.
Wow. It just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
I'm completely blinded.
Is it good? I clicked it.
Okay.
It's not loading yet. Is it good?
It's red.
Yeah, it's red now.
It's very red.
The same number as before.
It's the same number you just rolled.
Okay.
Yep.
So you still have a choice.
Uh-huh.
I could you can find out what's going on anyway, but I'll do a thing. Or I can still answer, or I can answer a question for you, but the answer might not be so accurate.
I'm gonna go for the inaccurate answer. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we should address what is the question. You're just trying to.
I'm basically searching what is the effect of my attempt to manufacture consent. Because I haven't seen any real result. Kind of getting a bit anxious. It's like, what's going on here?
Okay. So would that be, what is the relationship between my manufacturing consent efforts and
O'Henry?
Yeah, and O'Henry. Okay. And let's see. I think that there's like a bunch of there's a bunch of encrypted information flying around.
Mm-hmm.
And a fair amount of it seems to be going to Capstone. The best guess of your analysts is that they're lining up to bring some to bring some expensive mercenaries in to counter the existing forces already in play.
Okay. Well, I guess I fired up the information and talked to the Queequeg. The Squee Squee. Squee Squee are the ones who have the forces on the ground. So it's like.
Also, I keep forgetting I have like 4 really good attack ships.
Oh, okay.
In space.
Yeah. So I talked to Pterodon. It's like, I have received some piece of information and I'm sharing it according to our agreements. There seems to be that Capstone is bringing heavily armed mercenaries to deal with your group. Responding to a request by O'Henry.
Well,
I did not say this was the good news. I said it was news.
You know what? Thank you for letting us know. You're a good friend. We'll remember that.
And this is a part of the game that says, "Show they'll remember."
Little butterfly pops up.
This is the part where they remember this.
Yeah.
Nice.
They'll remember this. Yeah, and like up in space, just like the 4 ships that are like slowly spiraling, and like the rose compass, like kind of dislodge from each other, and then like lights begin flickering on.
All right.
Awaken the Great War Machine.
Dun dun dun.
You know, I just pictured, like, oh yeah, I have these battleships. Like, what if they're very tiny? What if they're like
Tiny battleships?
studio apartment sized, but we think they're big? Maybe they're huge. Who knows?
It's all they're big.
It's all about camera angles. Every time they're being
like
focused and being very close at camera angles, they look like
it's
very
the
impressive.
Hitchhiker's Guide thing where an entire fleet was swallowed by a dog.
And we pan and we see, wow, this is going to take a while to pan to one of these ships. These ships are enormous.
Because we've only seen them in space. Mm-hmm. Like, they captured a shuttle of yours one time, but who knows how big that was? It's a shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
So do I. So, is there anything else that you want to do before we close out the scene? Like,
yeah, he basically's done what he thinks for now he
That's cool.
to do.
You get a third 5.
Huh?
If you try to roll something else, you can get a third 5.
Oh yes,
hat trick.
5 by 5, yeah.
Okay. I think that definitely Henry is sneakily able to make some progress on his scanner. And let's see. And Quasi, you get a high priority Mindscape call from someone called Ishmael Void from Capstone. They have it's coded as sort of a maybe for now. They have a what the thing says is like a important and lucrative offer.
I guess I pushed like the button. I'm not quite sure if this is like a phone call or like a pop-up ad. So I'm like, I pushed.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, it's sort of like a mental knock, knock, knock.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like Quasi isn't sure.
Yeah.
So they like sort of gingerly like push the button in the Mindscape, and they're like, "Buongiorno."
Buongiorno. It is a.
I mean, Capstone does,
every time
what you want to see.
Yeah. Every time I wind up talking to you in character, it's like using your voice. Thank you for taking the time to conversate with me. I have welcome to New Vegas. First off. And I have to say that I am most impressed with your with the impression that you have made on the citizens of New Vegas, and with your uh, let's call them exploits so far, and uh, given that you have provided such a magnificent display, I would like to offer you uh, some support towards your future projects.
Oh, I thought you were calling about me destroying you, and you were going to throw yourself upon my mercy.
Oh, I'm afraid that that's not really an option.
Well, because I am going to destroy you, and so this would have been the perfect chance. But oh well.
Well, if you wish, you can attempt some sort of violence against the corporation, I suppose. That's
I mean, violence is such a simple term. I'm going to dismantle you and your everything you stand for and your whole goddamn corrupted machine.
Very well. I suppose I understand your stance. However, should you change your mind and decide that you would like to, I don't know, go destroy somebody else, even O'Henry, that would be fine. We don't care.
He's the aperitif, but don't worry, darling, you are the main course.
Well, if for the aperitif you should wish your people to have, say, some bleeding edge power armor, that could be arranged.
I mean, just to be clear, I'm not saying the organization that I am the kind of sort of leader of is going to dismantle you. I mean, I personally, with my own hand, and I've already got power armor, so it's fine.
Okay. Tell you what. I will.
You're not very good at this begging for your life. You know, I mean, I've had a lot of people beg me for mercy, and I've got to say, you're in like the bottom 10%. You're really not grasping the severity of your situation.
Fair enough, but rather than beg for mercy, why don't we meet in person? You can do your best to cut me into pieces if that's your joy, and then you can talk about the arrangements for military equipment with my replacement.
Ish. You're really quite a simple creature. Once again, I'm not saying that I'm going to personally break your little bones. I mean, I might if you stand like in my way, but I'm saying that I'm going to, dismantle your whole system. I'm going to make Capstone perfunctory, irrelevant. I mean, money's silly. It gets in the way of, sex and worship and irrational belief. And so I'm going to get rid of it.
Well, I'm sorry that we couldn't come to an accord. When you have
go on, darling.
I look forward to seeing you in action after your mind has been scrubbed of these silly religious beliefs, and you are forcibly brought to a better understanding of how the universe works. Good day.
Oh, that does sound quite nice, actually. Good day.
They finally figured out how to do it.
What would you like to do?
I mean, I just enjoy being here and doing the silly voice, and then you're like, attach a roll to what just happened, and I'm like,
oh no, that I don't think there's any.
Oh, I see. You're not asking for a roll. So you're just asking like what I will go about doing next.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if
consider that an interlude.
If like Capstone and the Squeeze both want someone dead, then wow, what a guy. They must be. And so I'm going to investigate this O'Henry fellow.
Okay.
Probably go to Dirt, as that seems to be where the action's happening.
Sure. How are you getting there? And are you taking your people with you?
I was considering swimming. That was the first thing that popped into my head. I don't know if maybe the worshippers have like a spare shuttle or like a minivan or something, I don't know if you've played Heat Signature, but like one of the little pods from that, I've realized is like my wet dream, so one of those would be nice. But yeah, just anything, doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, I could and then respawn there. I'm open to suggestions. I mean, is there a space bus? How long would is there like public transport equivalent? I mean, that was a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's fine. So let me see. You there's there's actually probably just like a gate that you could take between the two worlds. It would be noted, and you'd be walking right into the middle of Dirt's security structure. Like it could be a bad scene, but you could and they it might be a thing where you immediately have to sort of fight your way through, or it might just be maybe they won't notice you.
Okay, well, it's not like I've been waiting 6 months for this fucking moment. Let's go through the gate where there might be baddies who want to fight me, who aren't just clones of me. I mean, come on. Have I got my sword? Yes. Have I got my armor? Yes. Let's fucking go.
Hello, darlings. Cool. I am here.
Okay, so I could lay out some other options, but it sure sounds like you don't care about the other options. You want to do this thing. That's.
I mean, I don't like it being phrased saying that I don't care. I do care deeply about your other options, Brad. They're important to me emotionally. I'm just taking that first one. It's not that I don't care. It's just that this is happening. I do care about your other options, Brad.
Okay. Other options would be you could.
I don't want to hear them. I'm like.
I care, but quietly. It's like a rich person. Like, of course I treasure you, darling, but wait, you have to be quiet.
Yes. I care about you. Now shut the fuck up.
Mommy needs her quiet time.
So, yeah, I think that there is okay. So, are you trying to bring your people with you, or are you just stepping through?
No, I was just gonna. They've got a lot to process. It's kind of one of those I've tried telling those people what to do. It rarely works. I'm just gonna. They might show up. They might not. C'est la vie.
Oh well. It went well, right? I mean, yeah.
Oh, I just mean in general, from experience, maybe don't be too greedy with the pointing them in a direction.
if you want to take people with you, they're down for it. But
well, yeah, I'll do that. I'll be like, look, I'm going. Everyone, you've done really well on the accepting the inner goddess thing. It's really you've exceeded my expectations. You've clearly grown in the time, as have I. I'm very pleased. I'm gonna go to dirt. There's some systems of oppression there that needs dismantling, and well, guess what? That's us. So you can come if you like, but if not, then maybe get in touch with you in a goddess. But either way, I'm off, so come if you like, stay if you don't. There'll probably be some murders, but we're actually there for removing tools of oppression, but there still might be murder.
Okay.
Somebody grabs a torch, a titchy torch the way, like, yeah, murder.
Yeah, I think that they're pretty much all up for some murders. But on the New Vegas side, there's no flack in scheduling access to the portal. You step through, and you notice, as soon as you do, you notice that there's some gun emplacements that are that have a really good angle of attack, that are pointing right at you, and that the gate closes right behind you. I mean, you had more people who were eager to come through, but there's this whole a trap unfolds, and rather than doing direct conflict, we get to, I think, for maybe it's certainly at least one of the first times in the game, if not the first. Pretty sure it's not the first. No. This is unless you're letting yourself be shot, this is using force to win free from the trap.
Yeah, I'll totally use force.
All right.
Okay, hang on.
Okay, badass. Ooh. Okay.
Yay!
Nice.
my response is delayed by 4 seconds. I'm like, huh? Seems good.
Oh yeah.
So, the weapons that are trained on you are definitely state of the art. So, if you open up the use force handout, there are you get to choose 3 from that top thing. And I'm assuming that the primary objective is to just get out of this trap and be able to go on your way.
to move unmolested. Yeah. Well, I think I'll take the classic downgrade harm to. So, am I taking harm with this roll still? Do I have to? If that makes sense.
Yes. You'll be at base. You'll be exchanging grievous harm.
So yeah. So I'll use the 2 to downgrade grievous to regular harm, and then harm to no harm, and then.
Yes. Wait, there is one thing I need to check, because you have power armor, which definitely makes things not as bad.
Ooh.
I believe it was just to do with if they don't have state of the art.
Yes. Oh yeah, I think it's just like you can ignore non-state of the art attacks. Okay, so
Yeah,
never
yeah.
mind. Okay, so you're
So yeah,
downgrading
I'll take.
to no harm at all, and then achieve your main objective. But there's a complication.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, yeah. We'll go with that. That seems the most direct route.
Okay. Uh, so
Can
what?
I just
Okay, so
uh,
first off, I want to see what you going all action badass looks like.
cool. Thank you. I was just about to do that. So like I see one of the turrets like tracking onto me and like I dodge into the path of the other turrets, then the turrets shoot each other. Um, then like a riot tank comes full of like SWAT dudes. I like pick it up and like throw it into a building. Just all that good stuff. I don't use guns. I'm just like putting hands onto other entities and yeah, doing them grievous harm with my body.
Cool deal.
Gotta love those environmental kills.
uh, so yeah, you like break out. You're still in the city. But there isn't any more like immediate opposition. But you've definitely like triggered uh, all their alerts, and you're still separated from uh, your main force. I think the others who stepped through with you at the same time, like there's a bunch who are still stuck on New Vegas, but the few who did come through with you, they get shot to shit. They're ready for that re-sleeve.
I guess then, just before I like nip on, I want to maybe see if there's like any survivors from the other side. Like, was it just like automated defenses, or did they actually have troops or anything? Or
Um, survivors from the other side, still in New Vegas, or
no, it's in like O. Henry people. Were there O. Henry people, or was it just turrets?
It was all automated.
Cool. Okay, great. Well, yeah, then I guess I just stroll very I'm probably like humming a tune in my horrible shrill voice as I go along.
Okay. Um. So, yeah, you're going through the city, possibly causing chaos as you go. Or are you like destroying things as you go, or now that there aren't things actually shooting at you, do you just like?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna like I'm not here to like aggro on site. Like I just wanted to meet this O. Henry guy and see why everyone I don't even know why people hate this O. Henry guy. But I guess my reputation precedes me. It kind of makes sense. So I guess I'm just like walking towards where I think
Can
his
one of
house
my
is.
squee interns approach, be like, right this way, sir?
Oh, you don't have to call me that.
Of course. Whatever you prefer.
Just call it that is fine.
And then they have a cart, but it's like a very very tiny rickshaw. That's a squeeze.
Oh my god. I'm simply beside myself. But I get it, and I'm like, onwards!
Yeah. And they prance off to O. Henry's office.
So okay. So you're heading directly for.
If that's what you wish.
Yeah.
They will.
I guess like as I'm in the rickshaw, I go like, oh wait, it's the future. I like call O. Henry.
Oh wait.
Okay. You get a you you get a not like a text response, but it's like like he squirts video at you without actually accepting the Mindscape call.
Goddamn pop-ups.
So impersonal. Only a video?
Yeah. And the video is O. Henry with tentacles waving imperiously on a sort of a modified throne for that to be comfortable towards for balls of tentacles. But it's like a golden modified throne with this like beautiful, impressive motif behind it.
It's a toilet. Bowl of water where this thing is floating. It's a toilet.
That's one way of interpreting it. And in the video, he says, "Oh wait," says, "Dude, I don't know why you want to harsh my mellow with this military intrusion. It's really not cool, but I suppose I should ask, what do you want?"
Hello. You appear to be under the impression I'd come here to destroy you. A fair assumption. I'd actually just come to sort of decide if I was going to destroy you. It seems like everyone I meet wants me to destroy you. And after that stunt, you have made the decision a bit easier. But I was just hoping we could have a little chat. And then, I may or may not dismantle your whole planet. I've not decided.
Wow. Okay. And then there's like a slight delay as he like prepares another video rather than like risking actual mind-to-mind
conversation.
Fine, dude. I'm like, I'm into like keeping open communication where possible. So, like, just chill out right there, and I'll be over in like a few minutes. Just hold your horses. It'll be cool.
Cool. And then I'd just like to set up one message where it's like,
okay, and look, if this one's a trap as well, that's fine. And then if the next one's a trap, that's fine. But then the one after that, that's the last one, and then I just kill you regardless, okay? Cool. See you soon.
3 traps, that's the limit.
You get 3 traps.
That's it.
But no more.
I ask a third time, and then done.
Nice.
You have to ask 3 times. That's the rule.
Yeah.
There are ways and there's ways.
On that note, is it alright if we can begin doing wrap-up
Yeah,
things?
yeah, for sure.
It's late times, but a fun issue of Hacking Infinity. I just to start off, I guess I don't believe I was particularly self-loathing. Or actually, maybe can I just have an advancement for next time, because I've like never gotten an advancement in the whole time we've been playing, and I feel I have been self-loathing 5 times or more. We just always forget to do this. So just as like, that was probably my last time, could I have a single advancement?
Okay, I think that's fair. Yeah, like
cool. Hooray!
Yeah, then advancement is supposed to happen. Like I'm not sure how to. I'm still not sure how to change things so that that happens in a cool way rather than just being like. I mean, I could go back to like the default of whenever you fail a roll, you get advancement. That would you guys would be rocking and rolling.
Let me check my rolls.
Potentially have been fun.
Let me see. Oh, that would be lovely.
You're like, hold on. Let's look at the numbers real quick. Yes, data seems relevant.
I mean, whatever you think, it's pretty cool. I understand. Just for the record.
Yeah. This was really fun.
It was. What?
Yeah.
It was a good ending.
Nobody died. Well, right? Yeah.
Well, no. So, a couple of quasis died.
Sure.
What?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's not permanent.
I wasn't even going to bring them, and then you were like, no, you should bring them.
Oh, right. See, that's the thing. When Brad suggests something, you have to be, wait a second. Always be suspicious. That's what I do.
Yeah. Because whenever I ask a question, it's because I am specifically trying to fuck you over.
Yeah. Well, you're telling me now.
I mean, they took a couple of shots. They were there. And exploded, which kind of helped them get in touch with their innards.
Innards? Their innards goddess?
Yeah, as opposed to their inner goddess. But yeah, it's a thought that counts. Yeah, it's the process, really.
So wrap up?
Yeah. I mean, we could look a little bit more to see if any XP triggers happened. But
I don't remember. Yeah.
So we did one for Jakurt being smartass. I think that conservative worked against you
as well.
So take one for that. And then I don't think the bonds did. Quasi just take an advance for past stuff, and now that Childish is in place, even though it's sort of retroactive, I think that that like should have been there from the start. I'm gonna call that on you. It is 0 experience. Let's call that 3 overall, just to yeah. That sounds right to me. But if anybody has a argument that it should be higher or lower,
sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to metagame the metagame, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to reach another advancement anyways before my time in this wonderful show has passed.
I don't know. Oh, okay.
So for now, it's okay.
I think that if you like,
I'm okay as I am.
If you gamed for it, you could easily get those last 2 next session. I think. If you can't, but when you're specifically trying to, then there's something wrong about how I've set it up, for sure.
Yeah. And that we'll know. That's why we play these games, to figure out what works and what could use some adjustment.
Exactly.
Okay. While we're on it, your bonds aren't listed on the sheet. I think
they're on the bottom in the notes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I never know what I can open or not in Roll20. On those sheets, so I put them on the bottom.
Okay. Dwarf, mostly war, squeeze.
But it is 4:00.
Okay.
I have
I'll stop worrying about it. Okay.
If
anybody has,
I appreciate you trying,
okay. But so shout out. Somebody go first.
My name is Spook. I run Changeling the Lost on this channel on Wednesdays at a time. I don't know. I'm not good with that. Be good to yourselves and each other. Pew pew pew.
Yeah. 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 7 p.m. Central European. And I guess it's yeah.
Exciting time.
Woohoo!
I'm Emma Dazer. You can find me at twitch.tv/SplashPanda. I also do commissions. You can find me Twitter at adazer.com. Nope, that's not what it is. Nope, I said too many things. ADASER. I'm currently doing a bunch of RPG commissions, and I would appreciate if you know anyone, let them know, because I got some bad money news, and I would appreciate not having to live on the street very much. Love you. Goodbye forever.
Okay.
And my name is Lessons Learned. I'm a very streamer there. I'm working my way to affiliate, so if you just click in, it's just hey, I'll check. I'm kind of bored, so boom, let's check this out. Right now, I'm doing Mass Effect Andromeda, and then looking for my next, hopefully shorter, less intensive game to stream. So you can find me at twitch.tv/lessonslearned1. The one is important, otherwise you're not gonna find me. So thank you for having and watching me here, and I hope I was mightily enjoyable.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. So you can find me here at twitch.tv/rpglory or mixer.com/rpglory, or there's archives of stuff at rpglory/c/ or at youtube.com/c/rpglory. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be, I believe we're going to be launching a like character design and maybe actual play of Dark Revelations, which is a 5th edition post-apocalyptic hack. It's got some cool, wacky stuff that you should check out, and should be a lot of fun. And then Wednesday, Changeling the Lost 2nd edition, very awesome. Having a lot of fun with that. And then next Saturday, maybe maybe the final, maybe one more after that, but definitely come check it out. There'll be cool far future stuff, and cute little squeeze and spy foxes and psychopathic religious figures. So thanks again, everybody.
See you.
Have a good one. And one last thing, if you enjoyed this, please do like, subscribe, follow, all that sort of thing. I would very much appreciate it. Bye.
Swap me on the